Tonight on CTV News at 6, more fires at infill construction sites. The 5th and 6th incidents in recent weeks.
It's literally too close to home.
Strong community support for a St. Albert landscaper who had both legs amputated after being hit by a vehicle.
She's the type of individual that is going to take this and turn it into a positive.
And high demand for a low supply of COVID vaccines.
We never even imagined in our wildest dreams that this would be a situation.
Sunshine and mild temperatures on the way for tomorrow, but there is some change on the way. Snow in the forecast for later this week.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. A child is dead after a collision in North Edmonton this morning. Police say at about 10 a.m., a woman driving a Jeep was leaving the parking lot in a residential complex in the McConaughey neighborhood when a 5-year-old child fell on the sidewalk. Police say the Jeep hit the child. The child was taken to hospital and later died. Police say they do not believe speed or alcohol to be factors in the collision. Officers are continuing their investigation. Meantime, 2 more fires at infill homes have caught the attention of Edmonton police. There are now half a dozen recent fires under investigation, with multiple new and under construction homes burned to the ground across the city. Evan Kenny joins us now from the scene of the latest fire on Saskatchewan Drive in Belgravia. Evan, what did you see there today?
Well, Jeff, fire investigators were here throughout the entire day. Now, looking behind me, you can see extensive damage to the building that still remains. The other half of this lot is completely gone. Now, that's a very similar situation to an infill in the Glenora neighborhood where a house burned down early Sunday morning. Now, both of these situations are leaving people living in the neighborhoods worried. Embers rained down in Glenora over the weekend.
I look outside and all you can see is the flames. I mean, as tall as these buildings.
One new infill and a heritage building, Edmonton's first fully gas-equipped model home built in 1935, are now rubble. The neighboring infill house also damaged.
It kind of makes everything come a little bit closer to home. Kind of standing there worrying about, is it going to jump to my house next?
Then, Sunday night in Belgravia, a home under construction burned to the ground, another badly damaged, just blocks away from 2 other suspicious infill fires last week. Neighbors are worried.
It's literally too close to home.
Doug Wiley and Barb Vrolik both live in the area and walk this path often.
I hate to see it become commonplace. You know, it's like every day you walk by and see a house that's burnt out. It's just scary.
It's extremely concerning and extremely scary.
The area's councillor doesn't believe this is a targeted attack on infills. He thinks it could be unhoused people looking for warmth.
We need to make sure that all of us right now are focused on prevention, focused on what can we do. If you're close to a construction site, do you have cameras?
Now, Edmonton police and fire are investigating both of these 2 incidents and 4 others, making 6 in total since October 18th. Jeff?
All right, Evan, thank you. That's Evan Kenny live for us in Belgravia tonight. Edmonton's new city council is targeting safety and homelessness as its first action this term. Council has unanimously passed Mayor Andrew Knack's motion to spend $1 million on day shelter space. As Jeremy Thompson reports, he's also asking the province and Ottawa to chip in.
This will not solve everything, to be very clear.
The first action by any new government typically indicates its priorities. Mayor Andrew Knack's first move is pushing for $1 million to set up day shelter spaces for Edmonton's homeless.
They're a quick action that we can take to show that we have heard Edmontonians and that we are delivering upon what they're asking us to do, which is somebody to take the lead on this.
The mayor says there are more than 5,000 people living on city streets in some capacity right now. Encampments, safety, and homelessness are issues every councillor heard about from Edmontonians during the campaign.
Safety, transit safety, and that was brought up time and time again, or fear of coming downtown.
How do we have proactive approaches on that when in terms of community policing and social agencies that support people?
Last winter, the province increased Edmonton's emergency shelter capacity, including some 24/7 spaces. But Knack says many shelters still kick people out during the day. He'd like to give those people somewhere to go.
Would you rather that person be staying in the park Would you rather that person be staying on the street, or would you rather them have a building where they could go to with care and support?
The city money would come from its Community Safety and Wellbeing Fund, with no tax increase required. NAC is hoping to inspire contributions from the province and Ottawa. His staff are in early talks with Minister Jason Nixon's staff about the level of need. Councillor Aaron Paquette says visible homelessness is bad for the city's image and economy.
Would I rather this wasn't coming from Edmonton's funds to do a provincial job? Yes, but am I in support of doing it because the need is clear? Yes.
Social agencies would help iron out the details. NAC is hopeful the day shelters can be set up before winter weather truly hits. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
The province's math and reading screening tests for students in kindergarten to grade 3 are undergoing a change. Now results must be shared with the children's parents. The province says screening offers a snapshot as to where children's reading and math levels are at and can help identify if further support is needed. Education Minister Dimitrios Nicolaides says informing parents will allow for collaborative intervention plans between parents and teachers.
The intervention that follows is even more important. Obviously, if we just identify students who have who require additional support with reading and math and are not able to provide them with additional support, then we're not meeting the full expectations. So we did allocate $11 million in budget 2025 specifically to support and help school divisions hire staff to conduct these interventions.
Nicolaides says that amount will increase in future budgets. The NDP's education critic says $11 million isn't enough, calling it a drop in the bucket.
You talk to teachers and they have a classroom of 30 students. A third of those students require some kind of support.
Alberta Teachers Association President Jason Schilling says the screening puts unnecessary stress on student and has little to no value for student learning. If passed, these changes will take place next school year. A second member of the legislature is facing a citizen recall petition. Alberta's chief electoral officer told a legislature committee a recall campaign has been approved for UCP member Angela Pitt. Pitt represents the riding of Airdrie East. Gordon McClure didn't say what reasoning was given by the applicant. The person who made the application can start collecting signatures on Wednesday. The other approved recall application is for Education Minister and Calgary MLA Dimitrios Nicolaides. Voting is now closed for a potential strike for thousands of Alberta healthcare workers. Contract talks between the Alberta Union of Provincial Employees and Alberta Health Services broke down last month. The union represents 16,000 licensed practical nurses and healthcare aides. It wants increased wages to reflect an increased workload. AHS says it respects the collective bargaining process and it remains at the table committed to negotiating an agreement. Voting wrapped up at about 4:30 this afternoon. Long wait times to get the COVID vaccine through public immunization clinics are creating problems for some pharmacies. They weren't expecting such a high number of people to turn to them for the shot, and they can't bring vaccines in fast enough. Amanda Anderson reports.
The COVID vaccine is something even Alberta pharmacists are having trouble getting their hands on. They order the vaccine from a supplier. Pharmacist and owner of Lewis Estates Pharmacy, Molly Patel, says it's become the norm for the website to say there's zero in stock.
We keep looking at our watch list almost every couple of hours to see if there is an update.
A note when ordering also says limited supply as per vendor, which in this case is Pfizer.
The maximum that we could order is maybe 8 vaccines, 10 vaccines a day.
Another pharmacy CTV News spoke with says the maximum it's allowed to order per day is also 10. Albertans we spoke with who want the shot say it's been a difficult experience.
We've had to go back and forth through ill-defined processes and dealing with staff at the public healthcare clinics that don't know what's going on. It's a who's on first kind of scenario, and it's been extremely frustrating. And then to add insult to injury, we have to pay.
It's left many turning to pharmacies that weren't expecting or prepared for it.
Had people known before that if they have a private insurance, they could come to the pharmacies and get it, and they don't need to wait on the call for so long. They don't need to figure out how to do it online. They could have just come to us and we could have ordered the vaccines accordingly in advance, but nothing was clarified.
Pfizer tells CTV News demand has exceeded normal levels. It says the limits are temporary and based on each pharmacy or supplier's order history. The company says more inventory is being shipped to Canada to meet the demand. As someone who advocates for people able to protect themselves through vaccination. Patel says the situation is just as frustrating for pharmacists who can't deliver.
We never even imagined in our wildest dreams that this would be a situation.
A situation they don't know how much longer will take to resolve. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Pistachios sold in Edmonton are being recalled because of possible salmonella contamination. The roasted pistachios were for sale at Fresh Nuts near 125th Street and 132nd Ave in Northeast Edmonton. They were sold between April 8th and last Wednesday, October 29th. A variety of flavors are being recalled, including barbecue, salt, lemon, and saffron. Health Canada says they should be thrown out or returned to the store. Salmonella can be deadly for some demographics. No illnesses have been reported. With the holiday season upon us, local businesses are starting to consider their options for shipping orders. It's been more than a month since Canada Post workers started rotating strikes. As CTV's Gates Guarin reports, that uncertainty has some local stores looking at alternatives.
It may only be the beginning of November, but Track and Trail owner Bob Schilf is prepping for a rush of holiday online orders. Canada Post won't be part of that process.
We pivoted pretty quick the first time that Canada Post went on strike, and now with the rotating strikes, we've essentially just have lost confidence in Canada Post.
He's now using a private shipping company after this recent strike caused packages to be stranded.
That cost us, obviously, business, where customers were like, well, I'm not getting the packages, and they needed the product. So it was really frustrating that way.
Schilf isn't the only business feeling the effects. Paper Birch Books has seen some inconveniences.
There's been some delays in sending out packages, and we have had to use alternative services at times.
Co-owner Celine Chuang says customers have been understanding of the strike and what workers are trying to do. Paper Birch continues to support Canada Post, using it for most of its online orders.
I think they have shared values with us, and they have a lot of flexibility and willingness to step up for small businesses, even if it means waiting a little bit longer for things to arrive.
The local union says rotating strikes haven't hit larger cities like Edmonton just yet. The strategy seems to be focused on smaller areas where there's a concern those offices will be closed. Still, workers are hoping for a fair resolution.
The people are looking for stability, and they're looking to see that we have a contract of a period of time and to know that we're going to be doing the work, and that's all we really want to do is the work.
So while Schilf is open to returning to Canada Post,
we also want to support, the organization. So, that's to yet be determined.
The ongoing strike may continue to create some uncertainty just as the holiday shopping season begins. Gates Guarin, CTV News, Edmonton.
The zoo's zebras are saying goodbye to Edmonton. Edmonton Valley Zoo says its Greavy's zebras will be leaving Friday as part of a plan to prepare for a new construction project and enhancements at the zoo. Greavy's zebras are an endangered species. 4 have been born here in Edmonton as part of the species survival plan.
For the animal care staff, it is a bittersweet day. One of the males was born here at the zoo. Actually, 2 of the zebras that we are about to leave us were born here at the zoo. And so they spend countless hours. I always say sometimes the animals we work with at the zoo, sometimes we see actually more than our own families.
Wood says the zoo is not ready to share exactly how the exhibits are changing. The zoo has had some kind of zebra since the 1970s. A new player is making the most of his opportunity on the Oilers' top power play unit.
The familiarity that they have with each other is really cool. So it's a lot of, almost like code signs, code words that I'm trying to, figure out plays that they run. So, just try to keep it simple. Be in and around the net and be a good puck retriever.
Jack Roslovic scored a power play goal against Chicago Saturday. He has 4 points in his last 4 games. He joined the Oilers this season after spending last year with the Carolina Hurricanes. The Oilers begin a 2-game road trip in St. Louis against the Blues tonight. More than 10 years after they last came to Edmonton, AC/DC is returning. The Rock Legends last played Commonwealth Stadium in 2015. The band is bringing its Power Up Tour to Edmonton August 9th, 2026. Tickets go on sale this Friday. AC/DC have been making music together since 1973. This tour is in support of the band's last studio album, which was released back in 2020. Banff Sunshine Village has become the ski resort to open for the first ski resort to open for the season. The plan was to open this Friday, but 20 centimeters of snow hit the mountain over the weekend. When the flakes started to fly, the resort went to work preparing to open as quickly as possible.
We have to wait until we get enough snow that our cats can go out onto the ground. Then we have to, well, first, before that, we have to set up various steel poles in the summer. Then we set up the fences to catch the snow. Once we have enough snow caught, we'll take our snow cats and we'll push it out and we'll track pack, and then we'll start setting up the runs.
Banff Sunshine Village is now open daily until the May-long weekend. Lake Louise opens tomorrow. That's 3 days early. And Marmot Basin in Jasper is targeting an opening date of next Friday, the 14th. These images are from the mountain webcams. Snow has fallen on all areas of the mountain and snowmaking is in full swing. The ski hill is offering a number of incentives like free passes and rentals for kids and deals for families. Marmot will hold its season launch party tomorrow night in Edmonton. And the mountain parks don't get all the fun with the snow. Josh, I think you said snow earlier?
Yeah, there's a very good chance that we'll see at least some snow Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Whether or not it's accumulating snow and we wake up to snow on the ground Thursday morning, that is yet to be determined. But there is probably at least a little bit of snow coming. Here's what it looks like outside right now, temperature-wise. 1 in Edmonton, 0 south of the city. Elk Island's at -1. Still 4 degrees, though. Stony Plain. We get to 7 degrees for a daytime high today, 3 degrees warmer than average. You notice the average daytime high has now slipped to 4. In fact, by the end of this week, the average daytime high is 1. And with time change over the weekend, sunset now prior to 5 p.m., 4:57. Sunrise at 7:37. in the morning. We had some scattered pockets of flurries and showers in through the foothills and off to the east of Grand Prairie. Those have all kind of fizzled out now. We'll see those clouds stick around here in the Edmonton area for a few more hours. And then overnight tonight, some clearing. So should be around -4, -5 with some sunshine tomorrow morning, and then up to about 6 degrees with mainly sunny skies tomorrow afternoon. Light wind right through the day, but big change on the way for Wednesday. Increasing cloud, it gets awfully gusty on Wednesday, and then you get that chance of rain changing over to snow. We'll break all that down in a little more detail in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Josh. Coming up on CTV News at 6, helping in the healing process.
We were just very grateful when we heard he was going to make it. And once we heard that, it was like, okay, well, what can we do to help?
How the fitness community is rallying behind a St. Albert woman who needed a double amputation. Also ahead.
And I realize there's a dangerous gap in our system.
How family and friends hope to strengthen Canada's Amber Alert system after a 6-year-old went missing in southern Alberta in September.
Tuesday on your morning, buy now, pay later. It's much more available, but is it good for your finances? Plus, how to know if the images you're looking at online are real or made by artificial intelligence.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Fundraising efforts are underway for a St. Albert woman who needed a double amputation after being struck by a vehicle while at work. The 23-year-old is part of the local fitness community. As CTV's Nariman Issa reports, they're raising money for her long road to recovery.
Landon Crowder expects to sell a lot of shakes over the next month. His supplement store is donating every dollar from every shake sold to help a friend.
She's in the store almost every single day grabbing a shake on her lunch break. I know how much she, loves the shakes.
Money raised is going towards Raylan Jansen's recovery efforts. The 23-year-old was training for her first bodybuilding competition. Instead, she's in hospital dealing with life-altering injuries. Last Wednesday in St. Albert, Jansen was working as a landscaper on the side of the road when she was struck by an SUV and pinned between her truck. Her family says she had to have both of her legs amputated above the knees. Her road to recovery will be a long one.
We were just very grateful when we heard he was going to make it. And once we heard that, it was like, okay, well, what can we do to help?
Jansen is a regular at the Den Fitness in West Edmonton. Well, wishes are being left on cards and a hoodie on top of fundraising efforts. Braden Miller says despite the traumatic injuries, she is in good spirits.
If Ray's smiling and Ray's replying to messages and all this kind of stuff, how can we be sad? At the end of the day, it's like, if anything, it fires me up and motivates us, to, again, keep talking about this and keep doing what we can for her.
RCMP say charges are pending against a St. Albert man. It's looking for witnesses and dashcam video leading up to the crash.
It's a lot more rare that we see these in residential areas, and it's frightening because we all, here's somebody who's working, doing yard cleanup, working for a company, and now tragically their life has changed significantly.
A GoFundMe has raised more than $100,000 in 4 days. Naramanisa, CTV News, Edmonton.
A petition has been launched by family and friends of Darius McDougall, calling for the Amber Alert system to be changed. The 6-year-old disappeared while out camping with his family in September. CTV's Carson Marsouk reports.
Candles were lit and a pathway created to light the way home for Darius McDougall Saturday night in Lethbridge.
It's about hope, love, awareness. And we've come together as a community this evening to light the way home for Darius, to show that we will never give up on him or his family.
Since his disappearance on September 21st, a petition has been created calling for a reform to Canada's Amber Alert system.
No Amber Alert was ever issued, and I realize there's a dangerous gap in our system. Police are unable to issue an alert without a confirmed proof of an abduction, even when a child is at risk. I began this petition so no family has to go through that silence again.
An extensive 11-day search for Darius turned up no sign of the Lethbridge boy. Hundreds of police officers and professional search and rescue crews looked day and night for him. Ronnie de Gagne feels there are too many cases of missing people disappearing without a trace.
They're vanishing near highways, they're vanishing near borders and national parks. And we fear these are areas that are being exploited by smugglers and traffickers, and we're advocating for national Amber Alert reform.
Police must believe a crime has been committed in order to trigger an Amber Alert. Right now in Alberta, it means the missing child must be in danger of serious harm or death, and there's enough information about the child, the abductor, or the mode of transportation, and officials must reasonably expect the child could be returned or the abductor captured. Police have said they don't believe Darius is a crime victim.
This is a petition that has that must be given worthy consideration. It must, because situations like Darius are tragic beyond belief. But I think we need law enforcement to weigh in before we move too much forward with changing laws and changing regulations.
The online petition has garnered nearly 15,000 signatures.
We're optimistic, but there's a long battle ahead, and we're going to keep fighting.
While the family isn't giving up, they're asking the public to sign the petition and share his photo.
We're all here for one thing, and that's to bring Darius home.
Carson Marsouk, CTV News, Lethbridge.
Still ahead, inspiring the next generation of baseball players.
This Blue Jays team is really motivating. I'm here just getting work in, trying to get to another level.
The legacy of this season's team despite the World Series loss.
It grows baseball. It makes it where it's real, it's an achievable dream.
Should be a fairly pleasant day tomorrow. Sunshine and light wind, but things take a turn on Wednesday. We'll talk more about that chance for snow right after the break.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
It wasn't the ending Blue Jays fans were hoping for, the team losing the World Series. Despite the outcome, the playoff run has inspired the next generation of ball players. Come spring, it's expected a new wave will take up the sport. Here's CTV's John Venevali-Rao.
While much of the country was caught up in Blue Jays fever for the last month, for those wanting to make it to the big leagues, the playoff run, regardless of outcome, was hugely inspiring.
It gives me extra motivation to come in here.
This Blue Jays team is really motivating. I'm here just getting work in, trying to get to another level.
Every kid at this training facility in Burlington, Ontario, has dreams of playing at least college-level baseball in the U.S., and many swinging for the majors, including 11-year-old Mateo, who last week told us he wants to play for the Blue Jays so much, he'd sign with them even if it meant a pay cut.
If I was getting more money somewhere else, I would still want to go to the Jays. I want to play in the Rogers Center.
And facilities like this now anticipating a surge in interest, with the Blue Jays' World Series appearance getting more young people excited to play the game.
It grows it. It grows baseball. It makes it where it's real, it's an achievable dream.
Now, according to Baseball Canada, across the country last year, nearly 250,000 Canadians registered to play the sport. After the incredible World Series wins in '92 and '93, more kids started playing baseball. It was the same after the playoff runs in 2015 and 2016. And now another bump is expected in the spring.
It's exciting. I mean, it creates some capacity challenges for us to be able to handle, all the people that want to start to play baseball. But that's a good problem for us to have.
Baseball Canada notes the girls' side of the game has also seen significant growth in recent years. And that, too, could see a boost. And it's hoped, thanks to the interest generated by the Jays, there may be more Canadian stars on the field in the years to come. John Benavalli-Rouse, CTV News, Burlington, Ontario.
That was fun to watch while it lasted. Nice jacket.
Yeah,
Excellent
thanks.
taste.
You too.
Thank you. Looking good.
Team uniforms this afternoon. Take a look outside right now. A dark River Valley sky cam brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or it's free. It's 1 after hitting 7 for a daytime high earlier in the day today. Still some clouds out there right now, but we'll see those clear out overnight tonight. 7 in Fort McMurray for the high. High level got to 7 degrees. It was 10 in Medicine Hat. Look at Banff, though. Just 2 in Banff for a daytime high. Mostly cloudy skies from sort of mid-morning right through the afternoon around Edmonton. Cloudy as well through the southern half of the province. And then you've had these little pockets of precipitation which have now fizzled out east of Grand Prairie and through the foothills. We'll get some clearing, as we said, after 10, 11 o'clock tonight. By tomorrow morning, should be under mainly sunny skies here in the Edmonton area. This is about 7 a.m. You can see a little bit of thin cloud cover across parts of northern Alberta through tomorrow afternoon, but here in the city, should enjoy a nice sunny day. It will be chilly in the morning. We'll be a handful of degrees below 0 in the morning, but up to about 6, maybe 7 for a daytime high. 5 or 6 for a high on Wednesday. We'll get some increase in cloud as the day goes on. There's a low pressure system that's going to develop somewhere in about this area here. Where exactly it develops will determine where exactly this band of precipitation develops. And so it's still a little early to talk about exactly how much potential snow we might get, but it does look pretty likely by end of Wednesday. We've got some showers around or in the Edmonton area and off to the south and southeast. I think south of Edmonton, this is more likely to be rain through into the evening hours, but somewhere around Edmonton or just north of the city, at some point Wednesday night into early Thursday morning, this likely transitions from rain to a rain-snow mix and then to some snow. And so is it possible that we wake up to a bit of snow on the ground Thursday morning? Yes, it is possible. Is it likely? I'm not ready to go with likely just yet. If you're further to the north, though, in through this zone here, I think that area has a much better chance. Kind of the same areas that saw some accumulating snow last week. That area has a chance to see some accumulation by the end of the day Thursday. 3 degrees in Fort McMurray right now. It's 4 in Grand Prairie, 2 to the south of Red Deer, and just 1 here in Edmonton. We'll see temperatures around -4 or -5 tomorrow morning. Sunshine for most of the day. Your daytime high comes in at about 3 or 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, somewhere in the 6-degree range, and then we'll steadily cool off through the evening hours. Midnight Friday is the absolute final deadline in the Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation's Mighty Millions Lottery. You could win the $2.5 million grand prize package, which includes the show home and $100,000 cash. Go to mightymillionslottery.com to get your tickets. 6 degrees, light wind and sunshine tomorrow. 5 or 6 degrees Wednesday, but gusty. Gusts will be 40 or 50 kilometers per hour. Mostly cloudy skies. There's your chance of precipitation. I put this at about a 40% chance. It's probably closer to a 60 if things play out the way we're thinking. Friday, late in the day, you get a chance of rain-snow mix there, but temperatures will rebound. We'll be a degree or 2 above 0 Thursday, and then a handful of degrees above 0 for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and there is a chance we could get back close to 10 for at least one day early next week.
Thanks, Josh. Stay with us. Still ahead, what to expect in tomorrow's federal budget.
The budget tomorrow is all about, it's an investment budget. It's a generational shift.
Why austerity may not be the right word. And
I think what they would say is, look, Canada, if you really want to do this, take this approach, then, we might give you your money back and say goodbye to you.
Canada moves to hold an automaker accountable for shifting production south of the border.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law. Superheroes and blockbusters with your Edmonton Symphony Orchestra. Learn more at winspearcenter.com.
The Prime Minister has warned Canadians tough choices and sacrifices will be needed because of American tariffs. As CTV's Abigail Beeman reports, Canadians should expect deep cuts in tomorrow's budget.
In the pre-budget day new shoe buying tradition, the finance minister got hands-on at a factory, underlining build Canadian, buy Canadian.
The budget tomorrow is all about, it's an investment budget. It's a generational shift.
The government now only stressing investment.
C'est un budget d'austérité et d'investissement.
While in early September, just in French, Mark Carney also said austerity. Late October, a reference to sacrifices.
We won't transform our economy easily or in a few months. It will take some sacrifices.
Pounced on by opposition.
All our young Conservatives are fighting for homes, jobs, and hope, and they refuse to sacrifice their future.
We will not support an austerity approach.
There will be big spending in that budget, which goes against, I think, the logic of austerity. So there is a kind of tension here.
Desjardins economists predict the deficit will hit $75 billion.
I don't think you can characterize a $75 billion deficit as an austerity budget or austerity deficit.
There are obviously unanswered questions about just what is getting cut. Public service jobs most discussed. And the government has also promised to maintain some big-ticket programs and spend more on defense.
Austerity will mean different things to different people. And those who are most impacted will see the austerity. You can see public servants who are going to be impacted will view this as an austerity budget. The unions will view this as an austerity budget.
The Liberals are just 3 seats shy of a majority, meaning they need some help from the opposition parties in order to pass this budget in the confidence vote ahead or risk heading to an election. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
The Premier of BC says the province has abandoned plans for a series of anti-tariff ads aimed at American audiences.
So we've committed to the federal government that when the time comes to be speaking directly to Americans, we'll do it in partnership with them. We will not be running the ads by ourselves. We'll make sure that we're in line with strategy going forward.
BC's decision comes after an anti-tariff ad campaign by the Ontario government infuriated U.S. President Donald Trump, who then canceled trade talks with Canada. The federal government is initiating dispute settlement proceedings against Stellantis over the company's decision to shift production of the Jeep Compass to the U.S. The auto manufacturer announced the move from Ontario last month. CTV's Michael Couture reports.
Industry Minister Melanie Joly says today's action is based on the belief that automaker Stellantis did violate the billion-dollar contract signed with the federal government.
If you make promises and then walk away, you will be held accountable.
A blunt message for Stellantis from the federal government. Before being questioned by a parliamentary committee, the industry minister said Ottawa is going after the car maker.
We'll start the 30-day period of the formal dispute resolution process in order to bring back production at the Stellantis Brampton facility.
In October, Stellantis announced it was moving production of its Jeep Compass from its Brampton, Ontario plant to Illinois. In response, the government capped how many vehicles Stellantis and GM can import tariff-free into Canada. Going to the dispute resolution process could be risky, according to this trade lawyer, because the automaker could play hardball.
I think what they would say is, look, Canada, if you really want to do this, take this approach, then, we might give you your money back and say goodbye to you.
government
and your government committed thousands, millions, and billions.
In a sometimes combative exchange, Conservative members of the Parliamentary Committee demanded to know if the contract with Stellantis spelled out job commitments in Brampton. The documents related to the building of the battery plant in Windsor, obtained by CTV News, clearly state Nexstar Energy and Stellantis committed to creating and maintaining 2,500 jobs at that plant. The contract for the Brampton plant has not been released.
She could have been very clear if her government made a 3,000 job commitment for Brampton or a broader Canadian footprint agreement. She was not clear on that. That tells me there isn't one.
Minister Jolie told the committee the car plants in Windsor and Brampton are linked, as are the contracts, adding MPs will be able to see that when the Brampton contract is presented at another committee. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
Today's market numbers, the Canadian dollar held steady near 71 cents U.S. Oil was up 7 cents, closing the day at $61.05 American a barrel. Gold gained $17.50 on the day. The TSX finished slightly higher, up 14 points. The Dow Jones lowered, closed, losing 226. Witnesses are recounting the moment a man went on a stabbing spree on a UK train on Saturday, injuring 11 people.
And then everyone started shouting, he's got a knife, there's blood. We started running to the back of the train. But then I saw him climb the fence, the wooden fence, and start running right towards us. And then we decided to hide in the taxi. And the police came and detained him right in front of my eyes.
A van transported the suspect to court today. A 32-year-old man faces 11 counts of attempted murder. Police are investigating whether there is a link to 3 other recent attacks, including the stabbing of a 14-year-old. At least 20 people are dead after a powerful earthquake struck northern Afghanistan. Death toll is expected to rise as rescue efforts continue. The 6.3 magnitude quake struck near Mazar-e-Sharif, a large city home to about 500,000 people. The Taliban Health Ministry says hundreds were injured and the event caused power outages across the country. Still ahead, inside the 2005 investigation of Michael White.
Whoever has her, or if she's out there and you see me, or you see this, just stay there. We'll find you. We will. I'll find you.
A missing woman and a husband who wasn't what he seemed. Stay with us for a new series, The Crime Tapes. In 2005, a pregnant mother named Leanna White didn't show up to work at the Royal Alexandra Hospital. Her husband believed he was the last person to see her alive, and eventually police came to the same conclusion. Here's our new series, The Crime Tapes, with veteran CTV Edmonton reporter David Owasik.
Welcome to The Crime Tapes, a series of stories collected during my long career as a crime and court reporter in Edmonton. We begin with a case full of twists and turns, many of which unfolded in front of our cameras. July 12, 2005, we were driving to a different story when a call came over the police scanner, sending us off in a new direction. In North Edmonton, police discovered an abandoned vehicle in an otherwise empty gravel parking lot behind the Castle Downs YMCA Recreation Center. Here's how we reported it that day on our crime tapes.
Good evening. The search is on tonight for a pregnant Edmonton woman in what has turned out to be a bizarre missing persons case.
29-year-old Leanna White was last seen by her husband as she left for work this morning, but she never made it. White's abandoned vehicle was discovered in a North Edmonton parking lot about 30 blocks from her home. David Owasik is following this story. He joins us tonight with a live report. And David, I understand there are some new developments that apparently makes this case even more suspicious?
That's right, Carrie. If you take a look behind me, the missing woman's SUV is being loaded up by detectives for more forensics testing. But we just got word a short time ago that some of the woman's personal effects, her purse, her wallet, some of her identification was found strewn across this field. The investigation is expanded as her husband awaits any word on his missing wife. A 1991 Ford Explorer stands alone, seemingly abandoned, with police tape around it, investigators hovering, looking for any clue as to the disappearance of a 29-year-old woman. Passers-by noticed the vehicle early this morning. One of them called it in.
What I did see was this van with an open door, and it was facing east. And what I thought of it at that time is that somebody came to the lot with their dog, took their dog for a walk, and just forgot to close the driver's side door.
29-year-old Leanne White, 4 months pregnant, was supposed to be headed into work. Her husband, pictured here with investigators at the home they share nearby, says he saw her at 6:15 in the morning. She was wearing hospital scrubs on her way to a medical job. The vehicle was discovered just 10 blocks from the home the couple shares with their young daughter. The keys still in the ignition, the driver's door still open. Neighbors who were questioned by police are in shock.
That's scary. It's like she was pulled out or something, right? Somehow she was maybe forced out of her vehicle. I don't know. It's scary.
By the next day, the woman's husband, Michael White, was publicly involved. We could see him walking back and forth between his house and various police vehicles. When we approached him to introduce ourselves, offer our services and condolences, he invited us inside to record a plea to his wife. He appeared for just 34 seconds, but it was enough to shape the next phase of this investigation because police were keenly watching.
My wife is a good person, never hurts anybody, never would stop, would never hurt a fly. She's a gentle person.
There's a picture of her. Posters depicting the missing woman and her vehicle have been handed out to motorists, taped up at local businesses, to no avail. The police helicopter has searched. Neighbors have been canvassed. So far, all in vain. Even the husband is being told very little by police. He tells us he vows somehow to locate his missing wife.
If whoever has her, or if she's out there and you see me, or you see this, just stay there. We'll find you. We will. I'll find you.
David Owasik, CFRN News. That brief interaction with CTV News was the first time Michael White had spoken to the media, but it sure wouldn't be his last. Coming up next, we'll see the husband of the missing mom tell the media it's time he started looking for his pregnant wife. That's coming up on the next chapter of the crime tapes.
Programming brought to you by Southview Acura. Experience the elegance of the all-new Acura ADX. We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV.
Families had a smashing good time at an annual city event. The city hosted its pumpkin smash yesterday. You could catapult them or drop them more than 20 meters from a hydraulic lift. Shovels were on hand for those who wanted to smash their own pumpkins. Beyond the obvious fun, the city says it's also an opportunity for Edmontonians to learn about composting. It says more than 300 pumpkins were smashed.
Save some seeds, roast them up.
Perfect.
A little gravelly, this one. -4 tomorrow morning as we'll get some clearing overnight tonight. Sunny and 6 with light wind tomorrow. Should be about 5 or 6 degrees again Wednesday, but windy. And then a chance of some showers Wednesday late in the day that probably changes over to at least a rain-snow mix, if not full-on snow. Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Temperatures will cool off by the end of the week. Should be in the 3 or 4 degree range for daytime highs.
All right. Thank you, Josh. And thank you very much for sharing your time with us. For news anytime, visit our website, ctvnewsedmonton.ca. Good day.